Okay, so I guess we could start. So, hi everyone. So, welcome to this edition of our Tech Talk. So, today we have a very interesting topic as we will be covering how you manage your database disaster recovery for Oracle Database Cloud Services. And we will be introducing a new key feature, specific to the multiple standby database support for Exadata database service in the cloud. So my name is Leo Alvarado. So I am your host today, and with me is my co-host. So we have a special guest. So who's not just talking about technology and they're really building it. So we are very lucky to have him today, and then I'm very thrilled to introduce our guest, Mr. Dilip Chagarajan. So Dilip is a key member of the product management team who has worked on some of the most coolest features of Exadata database service. So particularly on multiple standby database support for DataGuard with Exadata database service. So hi Dilip. So thank you for joining us today and welcome to our Tech Talk.
Thank you, Leo, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Okay, so today we'll be covering the following topics. So at first we'll introduce you again. So what's the database cloud services, and then we'll touch base on the maximum availability architecture for cloud database, and then we'll go straight to the main topic, which is on how you will use cloud automation for database disaster recovery. So we'll be covering the concept of this new data guard group model and to show you how would you create multiple standby databases for your Exadata database service. So to kick off our tech talk, so I'll just do a quick tour on what is Oracle Cloud. So Oracle Cloud Services, again, it enables you to build and run wide range of applications, which is uh, scalable, secure, highly available, and high performance environment. And with the Oracle Cloud, so developers can build modern applications that use the latest technologies, architectures, and development methodologies. And Oracle has made developing applications in Oracle Cloud very easy by enabling developers to continue and make leverage on the tools that you love for the development processes. So it is open and modern. So for DevOps and agile development, so we offer tools for software development lifecycle management, such as version control system and build tools like Maven and Gradle. And Oracle offers also a rich set of cloud native services based on the best of open source, including container native application solutions like Kubernetes and serverless functions. And Oracle Cloud also provides automation tools like Jenkins, Ansible, Terraform, and other cloud automation functions via the UI, APIs, and even CLI. So that will allow developers to do things like creating a gold images of their database and application environments so that images can be used as part of their cloud automation API or as part of their infrastructure code uh, deployment. Then the developers can build any kind of application in Oracle Cloud and can choose to leverage on popular programming languages such as Java, Python, Ruby, and Go, and also make use of the available frameworks like Micronaut, Hidden, and Spring Boot. And they can also use their favorite schema management and container registry and repository tools. So developers in the Oracle Cloud can choose from the multiple cloud database offerings. So with varying degrees of automation and management, so including of course the Oracle database cloud services like autonomous database, Exadata database service, and base database service, along with MySQL, NoSQL, and open source offerings like Postgre and OpenSearch. And since we will be talking about maximum availability also in this session, So I just wanted to show like where is Oracle Cloud available. So Oracle continues to grow in its cloud footprint. So now it's around 176 live and planned regions. So the Oracle Cloud footprint allows its customers or users to be able to deliver production and DR services and also be able to address data sovereignty requirements. And now in the tech talk, since we will be discussing a feature of database cloud service, so we'll just go into to do a quick introduction to Exadata Cloud. So let's start with, did you know that Exadata runs everywhere? So yeah, so that's one of the greatest differentiators of Exadata. So it gives you the flexibility in terms of where to deploy. Like you can run it you can run it on premises where you own and manage the complete system and that you have a total flexibility as how you will manage it, or you can run it in the cloud. So where Oracle manages the infrastructure, but you have all the automation tools to simplify your management task. And then you can leverage in the pay for use subscription model, then that can dramatically reduce your cost. So Oracle offers Exadata in the public cloud with the Exadata cloud infrastructure and also in the Exadata cloud at customer. So with Exadata Cloud Customer, you can benefit from a cloud deployment, but keep all your data inside your own data center. And Exadata is also available with multi-cloud. Like you can use Exadata or the Exadata database service, of course, in OCI. And you can also use the Exadata database service, like we have the Oracle database at Azure, Oracle database at Google, and Oracle database at AWS. So you'll get a full Oracle database and Exadata functionality and compatibility within, I mean, across this multi cloud partners. And this is just a quick summary of some of the enterprise capabilities you will get with the Exadata Cloud. So on the left are the key features available in Oracle database. So it includes important features like multi-tenant Oracle Rack and an active data guard, which we're going to talk in a while. And then on the right are all the Exadata innovations available with Exadata platform, so including the recent additions like the AI Smart Scan. So Exadata Cloud includes all these key capabilities and innovation in a single cloud platform. And it's very easy and simple to utilize the OCI Web Console to manage all this database, Oracle Database Cloud Services. So you can use the navigation menu in the upper left uh, to navigate to the database service pages where you can create, manage, and view your cloud database resources. So for example, the Exadata database service can be managed from the web console by first selecting on the Oracle database, and then you can choose either to make use of the Exadata on the Oracle public cloud, which is the Oracle Exadata database service on dedicated infrastructure, or at the cloud or cloud at customer. Okay. And OCI provides a wide choice of management interfaces that can be used with Exadata database service. So the easiest way is to use the web browser interface, which allows you to use a browser to graphically configure and initiate your operations. And this is great for one-time actions, but if you prefer a more programmatic interface for things done repeatedly, such as provisioning and updating databases, so anything you can do with a browser, you can also do with a corresponding REST API. Okay, and all these interfaces are also exposed via a command line interface, which we call OCI CLI, that can be used for scripting, building custom tooling, and that there's an available software development kit or SDK to integrate with a common language such as Java, Python, Ruby, and Go. And if you prefer to manage your infrastructure as a code, then there's also Terraform and Ansible interface available. So the cloud automation tools, it simplifies most of your lifecycle management, including adding additional servers, scaling OCPUs up and down, creating databases, database homes, scheduling infrastructure maintenance, updating and upgrading VM operating systems, grid infrastructure, and databases, as well as to perform backup and recovery operation, and even enabling disaster recovery protection through DataGuard, which our main topic for this session. Okay, all right. And before we proceed, so let's just have a look on the Oracle maximum availability for cloud databases. So a key feature of Exadata database service is that the maximum availability architecture best practices are built in. So you no longer need to figure out how to deploy your database for best performance, availability, and security. So you just need to deploy using the cloud automation tools, and your system will be optimally configured to provide the highest service level. So it automatically deploys Oracle Rack to provide scalable, highly available database tuned to run on the Exadata platform. So Oracle Rack, it protects you from unplanned failures. You can spread work across multiple database instances. And in addition, it eliminates downtime for maintenance activities by automatically migrating work off from the servers that are about to undergo maintenance to others that remain online. Also, the backups and replication with DataGuard can easily be configured for disaster recovery, which later on we will see how we can easily enable the DataGuard through the cloud automation tool. So in fact, the Exadata database service supports all the Oracle maximum availability architecture technologies, which form the high availability footprint for Oracle database in the cloud. So and also since we mentioned about disaster recovery, so we now go to our main topic, which is how you can manage your database disaster recovery with DataGuard Group. So yes, I said it, DataGuard Group. So maybe for some of you it's new, like some are used to calling it DataGuard Association, but yes, I mentioned DataGuard Group. So we will discover and learn more about it as we go along. So but first let's do a recap on just a review about how you manage your disaster recovery with DataGuard. So when you subscribe to Exadata database service, so you can use DataGuard, which is a key database feature that provides real-time disaster protection. Should you lose your primary database or data center, you can easily fail over your workload over to a standby site maintained automatically by DataGuard. So you can choose between synchronous or asynchronous transport of data to the DR site, optimizing for performance or zero data loss. And DataGuard, it also provides continuous data corruption prevention. And that active DataGuard enables you to utilize active database copies that you can use for upgrades and migration, as well as offloading queries, reporting, and backups to a remote standby. And setting up DataGuard is a critical component of any maximum availability architecture solution. And that with Exadata database service, so we make it simple to enable DataGuard. So we just with a single API call or multiple clicks of the mouse in the UI using the cloud automation tool. And likewise, the automation supports critical use cases like switchover or switching your primary database to your DR site, switching it back, and reinstating your primary database after a failover. Okay, so I mentioned about DataGuard, DataGuard group. Okay, so I'll be calling on Dilip. So Dilip, so tell us what's new. It's like what is this DataGuard group and what ability this enhancement provides to the users.
Sure, Leo. So when we talk about data guard group, at a high level, this is the ability for customers to create and manage multiple, say, local and standby databases in a data guard configuration. And this is now supported via cloud tooling. So if you look at, say, different scenarios, the one scenario is in a typical configuration that customers have, they could have like what is called a local standby. So a local standby is a database that is in the same region as the production. And customers do this for a couple of reasons. Number one is, of course, it provides zero data loss because it's in the same region. And it also protects against, like, say, local failures of, like, say, the primary database, cluster, or availability domain. Now, also, when you look at the application failover impact, it is very minimal because it's in the same region, and therefore the performance overhead of communicating with the remote region is not there. The second scenario could be what is called a cross region or a remote standby. So what is a remote standby? A remote standby is a standby database in a data guard configuration that is set up in a different region. Right? And why would we do this? We typically do this for disaster recovery purposes. So in the event that the primary region were to go down, like you mentioned, customers will be able to fail over to the standby in the remote region and kind of be able to continue their business operations. Now, with multiple standby, now what we are saying is customers can have a mix and match of standby databases both in local and remote regions. So we're not really restricting in terms of, like, say, where you can have your standbys. You can have a few standbys in a local region. You can have maybe in different areas. You could have like some standbys in remote regions to just cater to the use cases that you have. There are customers who also create standby databases for just query purposes, right? They want to do query processing. They want to look at data and run some queries, but they don't really want to create in the same region as the primary, so they create a remote stand. Now, the last scenario is there are customers who also want what is called symmetry, right? So when we talk about symmetry, what customers do is, so let's say they have a primary in a region, they set up a local standby in the same region, right? So that's locally set up, so which is zero data loss. You have that set up, and then they go on to set up a standby in a remote region and an additional standby in the same region. So this setup, you have like what is like you have three standby databases connected to the primary. The advantage with this is, so suppose you do a switchover or a failover, when the standby in the second region becomes the primary, you already have another standby in the same region, which will take care of, like, say, zero data loss, right? So that is the typical symmetrical operation that is there. So just to summarize, this capability now will let customers to create more than one standby database, manage it through cloud tooling. You don't really have to do anything manually anymore. And yeah, like Leo just mentioned, you'll be able to do switchover, you'll be able to do failover to any of these standby databases. You will be able to take backups on any of these standby databases, and you can use those to create new databases, which is to do a restore, or you can also do it to restore and recover, like, say, the local the associated database as well. So that is what is being introduced here. And the concept is we are now calling this down. So this is now no longer a one-to-one association, as you can see. This is a group, right? So this is a group of databases that are participating in the data guard configuration, and hence the term data guard group.
Okay, so from this diagram, Dilip, so I mean, also for the benefit of the audience. So
Yeah.
if they have created data guard before in our cloud, so
Mhm.
that one is called the data guard association, which now we refer to as the old model, and that with that data guard association, they can only create like a single standby associated with a primary database, right?
That is correct. So the existing model is the data guard association till now, wherein you could create one standby database and associate it with the primary. So we're keeping that as the data guard association. And then the new one, of course, it's got a new term. It's called the data guard group because it's now more than one standby database.
And that
Right.
with that new data guard group model, so they can create multiple standby database one at a time via the cloud tooling, and also it comes with set of group, I mean, data guard group APIs, right? Like they can still do it and choose whether they wanted to do it via UI or APIs.
Correct. Yeah, we support it through cloud automation. So you can use the console, you can use the APIs to create these. And also, we have also made the experience consistent. So if you actually look at the experience, which we'll walk through in the subsequent slides, we have made it very streamlined. So irrespective of whether you're on the primary page of the data guard association or group, or you're on any of the standby database pages, you will see that the experience is consistent in terms of the look and feel, the kind of operations you can perform. So we made it a lot simpler, simply because now you have like a lot more databases in the mix. So we want to make sure that customers know exactly the database they are operating on when they do the various operations, the database operations.
Yeah,
Available.
I like it. Like we even make it consistent, like in terms of the UI look and feel. Now, Dilip, I just have a question. Like for those customers who have an existing data guard association created via the
Yep.
cloud tooling, will they still get be supported for that one, or are we going to continue to support it, the data guard association?
Yeah. So typically, what the answer is yes for now. So we will continue. If you have a data guard association created, so you have a primary and then you have a standby, that will continue to be supported. There will be no impact to it. You can continue to operate in that model. You can continue to do switchover and failover, take backups. All of that will continue to work. There is no change. Now, if you are creating a new data guard configuration, there are two choices. You can either decide to say, I just want one standby database and I want to go with the old model, which means you're limited to a standby database, everything will work. Or at the outset, you can say, no, I just want to go and use the new model. If you say, I want to use the new model, you can, right from the get-go, you can create more than one standby database. So those are the two scenarios that are available to you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if you either have an existing data guard association model or you're creating one with an association. If you want the multiple standby capability, you have to switch to the new
Okay.
group. And there is a simple workflow which we'll walk through wherein customers, it's a one click, and you can say convert my association to a group. And then it does the conversion. It in the background, all of the necessary conversions that need to be done in terms of like say the events and the data model is taken care. And once the conversion is done, you have what is called a data guard group, and that lets you create additional standby databases.
Okay. So in summary, if a user is using data guard association and
Yep,
they wanted to add more than one standby, then they can just easily switch over. Like it's just a seamless switch over from their data guard association to this data guard group new model, right?
that is right. But you will have to switch if you want to use or create more than one standby database.
Okay. And then if I am if my, and then if it's my first time to create data guard, so what's the benefit or what's in it for me? Like why do I need to choose to go with a new model versus with the data guard association?
So
Right.
absolutely, I think there are a few benefits. Of course, like we said, the first one is right out of the bat. You can create more than one standby database. So if you want to create a configuration wherein you need say two or three standby databases, you can do that only with the group model. So you can as well start with it. And the user experience, like I say, is a lot more streamlined that you will find useful. We also have exposed a lot more data guard events that you can leverage. So that capability is also there, and also eventually at some point, and typically we have a deprecation policy wherein we will have to deprecate the old model at some point,
Okay.
as as with all services, right? So the typical deprecation policy is a 1 year.
Hmm.
So now that we have introduced this feature, say in February of this year, we will have support both models till say Feb 2026. That's the typical time frame. At which point we will then stop supporting the old model and
Hmm.
then start supporting the new model only. Okay? But of course, we will also have a migration path at the time wherein we will seamlessly migrate customers to the old from the old to the new model if they have not done that automatically by then. So
Oh,
there will still not be no there will be no customer impact even when that event happens. But I would encourage customers to use the new model from the get-go if you're creating a new data guard configuration, simply because all the capabilities that we are going to introduce in data guard is going to be on the new model. We
Yeah.
will not be
And
adding
and
new.
and, and also, Dilip, if it's their first time to create data guard and then they choose the new model, they can create like one is to one or one is to many setup, right? I
That
mean,
is, yeah,
yeah.
like I said, you
Or
can do one or more locals, you can have one or more
yes,
remote.
it's more flexible.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Dilip, there's a question that I see. So
Okay.
because we keep on saying like they can create or users can create multiple standby database. So the question is like how many standby databases can be created for a primary database in this new data guard group model?
Sure. So with the new data guard group model, we are currently supporting the ability to create up to 6 standby databases associated with the primary. And again, like I said, you can mix and match between local and remote regions. You can have, like, say, a local and multiple remote regions. But 6 standbys is what you can create right now, which in talking to a lot of customers and getting feedback, we have determined that it is ideal for most customer scenarios.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then yeah, we can go through some of the considerations here. Like so this feature is only supported for Oracle database 19C and later. And yeah, as you mentioned, like the new resource model allows creation of up to 6 standby database. And then okay. Then yeah, then the last bullet is that if they have like a data guard config that were created manually, then they need to recreate those configuration using the cloud automation tools.
Which is similar to the experience right now. So even today, if you were to create, say, standby databases manually, you will still not have them like port over to the cloud automation. You will have to create them right, using automation. So that capability continues to be as it is currently.
Mm. Okay. So now that we have covered the what, the why, and when to use, now let's see the how. Like how they can use the cloud automation for enabling this data guard group model. Okay. So we have prepared demos here. So just to show the user experience. So first is how you add more than one standby database to an existing data guard configuration, and how to add a standby database using the new data guard group configuration. So this is the scenario as mentioned by Dilip, where it's your first time to configure data guard and you choose to use the data guard, the new data guard group model. And then we'll show how you modify the data guard member settings and how you can easily perform the data guard operations through the cloud automation tools like switch over, failover, and reinstate. Okay, so let's go with the user journey one. So this is the journey where you have your existing data guard association, and how would you switch to the new data guard group model? Okay, yeah. So this is exactly what I saw like a few weeks ago. Like uh when I have a existing data guard association, and I saw this banner like switch to the new data guard group resource. So to add more than one standby database to a data guard configuration via cloud automation. So yeah, you need to switch to the new data guard group resource, which can be done at any time. Okay. So you can switch from the existing data guard association to the new data guard group resource in one of the two ways. So the first is by clicking on the switch to the new resource on this banner, or you can from your database details page, if you go to resources and then go to data guard association, you can also add a standby by clicking on the add standby button. Okay, and if you choose to add standby, so this will take you to the migration flow. Okay, So after picking any of the above options, so you'll provide the confirmation to migrate to the new data group resource. So I think the question here, Dilip, is that when they click on the start here, what's the impact? Like this is being done online. Like I mean, it doesn't impact their databases while they're doing it.
So there will be no impact in terms of like what the customer will have to do additionally. Just like any other operation, like if you were to create a database, create a VM cluster and the like, so there will be a workflow that will have to run in the background to actually do the switch. So this will be a similar experience. What we will do in the background is convert the model, right? Basically, we are switching the data model from the single standby to the multiple standby model. So that is going to happen. So basically, it's all like seamless to the customer. And once it's done, you will the next screen you will see is actually the one wherein you have a new group, and then you will have a group with like say one standby, and then from then on, it's just the group model that you get into.
Okay. And then after they do the switch, so once the migration is complete, then they will see this data guard group in their console. So the data guard group details are displayed at this time, and then you'll be able to add additional standby databases. So if you recall it from the data guard association, they can just see like one entry there, right? Like they can if you're viewing the primary database, you can only see your standby on your data guard association. So in the data guard group, so you will see both the primary and the standby database, which for me it's will make easier for me to track like how many standby I have created for my primary database.
Correct. And I think just on the previous thing, Leo, if I may, for a quick 30 seconds, like you just alluded to, I just want to re-emphasize that. So the experience that you get, which we said before, is going to be consistent. So what you're seeing here is actually the data guard group information on the primary database. And the way I know this is on the primary is because if you look at the member, you don't have a hyperlink on the member against the primary row on this table, right? Because you're already on the primary row. What will happen is if you were to go to, say, for example, a standby database page, you will see the exact same information displayed. So the experience is going to be consistent, except that, I mean, you will know which standby or primary page you are on. So that is straightforward. You will also be able to execute operations like switchover, failover on any of these pages. So you go to the respective corresponding row, which Leo will talk about, and then you will be able to execute those operations. So it really doesn't matter anymore which page you are on in order to execute some of these operations. You will also see there's some additional lag information that we have started showing here. So we'll continue to enhance this to provide additional information because when you have a multiple standby model, one of the things that customers want is the ability to determine which standby should I use to do a switchover or failover, right? So we'll continue to provide additional inputs in the interface that
Mhm.
will help us make those determinations.
Okay. Yep. So that's journey one. Now we go with the journey two. So journey two is when if it's your first time to create the data guard. So it create a standby using the new data guard group model. So from if you are creating a new data guard configuration, so as mentioned by Dilip, so it's recommended that you choose the new data guard group resource. So this will allow you to add additional standby databases in the future. So how you will do it? So from the database details page of your primary database, so navigate to the under the resources. So just navigate to the data guard associations, and in the data guard associations, click add standby. So when you click on add standby, you will see this add standby page. Okay. So in the add standby workflow, it will ask you to select the option whether you use the new data guard group resource or use the existing data guard association resource. So since we're we're selecting the new data guard group, so you just need to select to use the new data guard group resource, and then you need to provide the peer VM cluster. So again, You see here that it the same UI look and experience. So it will ask you uh for the region and availability domain of your peer VM cluster. You need to select the Exadata cloud infrastructure, your peer VM cluster, as well as to provide additional details for like your data guard, the data guard type that you want to use, whether it's data guard or Active Data Guard, and then additional details for your database home, database name, ask you to provide database credentials, and then you just click on add standby. So after providing all the required details. So once the data guard group is created, so all the details are displayed. So you'll see here the uh so you'll see here that the data guard group has been uh created, and the details of for all the members of the data guard group is shown here under the data guard group section. And then if you navigate to the database details page of your standby database, so again, you will also see the same information. It's just that, as mentioned by Dilip, there's no hyperlink because you are in the standby database site. Okay, and that you can create additional standby databases. So by just clicking on the add standby button on your primary database. So what's important to take note of here is that you see here that we have added like six uh standby databases, and that it's a combination of both local and remote. Like my primary database, which is my VM cluster, which is running on my VM cluster A, it resides on the Ashburn, and then we have like three local standby databases, which are all running on Ashburn, and I mean, sorry, it's four standby databases running on Ashburn, and then we got two remote standby database running on Phoenix. So this is a good example in which you can create multiple standby databases of up to six, and you can spread it across whether it's a local standby or remote standby. Okay, and then if you navigate to the details page of your standby database, again you'll see the same uh, information. Okay. So now let's see how you will modify the data guard uh, member settings. So you can modify the data guard settings from either the primary database or any of the standby databases. So you just need to select the database, and then you need to click on the three dots or the action icon uh, for you to bring up the edit catalog. So you can choose the updated values for the data guard type, protection mode, uh, and transport type. So once you have choose the updated values, you just simply click on edit data guard. So that's how easy it's for you to modify details of a data guard member.
Right.
Then yes.
Sorry. Yeah, on the previous screen, I just want to add one more aspect, which is so the edit data guard is a concept that is currently available as well with a single standby with the old model, right? But the difference I want to point out here is if you look at the protection mode and the transport type. Now, when you do an edit of like say any of the standbys, for example, or the primary, the protection mode is a construct that is applicable at the data guard level. Right? It is not specific to a standby. So when you change the protection mode, it applies to all the standbys.
Mm.
The transport type could be sync or async for a particular standby. Now, what we have done in this new model is we have actually relaxed the rules to say that you are now able to choose the protection mode of your choice as well as the transport type of your choice. So you can do max availability and choose sync or async. You can do max performance and choose sync or async. There are no more checks or restrictions in terms of the combination that you can use in the new models. And this is based on customer feedback, wherein they have different scenarios, wherein Customers want that flexibility to be able to choose sync or async for different standbys, and therefore that's what we've opened up here. So,
Yeah, so thanks for pointing that out, Dilip. Yeah, like I really like the flexibility. Like you can do like a combination of protection mode and transport type with this new data guard group model. Okay, so now let's see how to perform data guard operation. So we'll start with performing switchover operation. Yeah, so this is very consistent to the UI look and feel. So if you can perform switch over between the primary database and any of the standby databases in the data guard group. So in the new data guard group model, both the switchover and failover operations can be initiated from any of the standby databases. So again, it's the same flow. So you just need to choose the standby database and then click on the action icon and then click on the switch over action. Then you just need to provide the database admin credential password and then click on switch over to confirm to initiate the role reversal between the selected databases. So upon switchover, so the two databases that were part of the switchover operation will reflect the new database roles. So you can see here now that the VM cluster A, which before is the primary, is now the standby database. Now let's see how to perform failover. So for failover, so again, in the new data guard group model, so failover operations can be initiated from any of the standby databases. So for this example, we'll be going to perform a failover for this database, which is running on this VM cluster 2024-04251654. Okay. And then when you hit on the action icon, so just simply click on failover and then again provide the database admin credentials and then click on failover to confirm. And then upon failover, the selected standby database will become the new primary database in the data guard group. And then the original primary database, which is the VM cluster B, will now have a role of a disabled standby. Okay. And then once you have fixed the issue for that disabled standby, then you can also easily do reinstate of your standby database. So you can reinstate a standby database that has a disabled standby role by clicking on the three dots or action icon against that standby database and select the reinstate option. So again, you just need to provide the admin password and then confirm by clicking on reinstate. Okay, so then you'll see that the standby database will be reinstated and we'll assume the role of a standby database in the data guard group. Okay, so that's how easy and how consistent the UI look and feel as we perform those different data guard uh, operations. And yeah, so we're almost done with all the scenarios and flows. Anything that you want to add, Dilip, before we open the floor for any questions that they have?
yeah, I think just the general comment that like you just pointed out. So switchover, failover, reinstate, all those operations are currently existing, and I mean, they behave the same way as they currently do. The small changes that we've done in the experiences when you talk about from a console perspective is like Leo said, you can do now a switchover or a failover from any standby, so that is a consistent. So you can be on any standby page and then look at this section and then choose the standby that you want participating in the switchover or failover and then just initiate that action there. So that way it is very straightforward. Otherwise, the in terms of like the operation that you're used to, in terms of an actual switchover or failover, none of that has changed. So they continue to work the way they currently do.
Okay, so maybe now it's a good time for us to move to where they can find more resources. So to find more resources, we were inviting everyone to join our Slack workspace. So this is where we upload all our collaterals and references. So we're uploading get started guides, how to demos, tech talk series, even the replay of this session is there. And the same with the demos that we have shown, like the how-tos videos, how-tos documentation. So we're also sharing it in the Slack channel. So how to join? So here's the join link. So yeah, so we're inviting everyone. So join us. So it's you can ask anything about database cloud services on Slack. So how to join? So via the join link, or maybe you can just scan the QR code. So after you scan, so log in to your email account, Slack, and then check your email, set up your 2FA, and that's it. So welcome to our workspace. And then aside from the Slack channel, we also have hands-on workshop, labs and workshops. So we have develop workshops for Exadata database service. So if you go to Live Labs, you can just search for Exadata database service. So I'm also working on a workshop to upload in Live Labs on how you can set up multiple standby databases for Exadata database service. So yeah, so you can choose and just search for the service name, and then you'll see the available workshops and sprints to meet your needs. And yeah, so with that, so that brings this session of our tech talk with Leo and Dilip to an end. So until our next session. So so stay safe. So again, my name is Leo and he is Dilip. Bye now and stay safe.
Thank you, everyone.